This video is sponsored by OWC. So these two just showed up a little later than what I wanted, and I'm gonna do way more in-depth videos about each specific device next week, but I wanted to unbox the Mac Studio and the Studio Display and show you what each one looks like just real quick. Yeah, I just can't wait. So let's go ahead and unbox these. So let's start real quick with the Mac Studio. This is the M1 Ultra version. We'll unbox this and then get to the Studio Display, but in typical Apple fashion, we have fantastic packaging. Just a little pull tab here to get inside the box. You do get this nice little handle that I've noticed kind of made their way in the Pro Display XDR and the Mac Pro. And so it's nice to see that here. Let's go ahead and unbox it. So here at the top, we have some documentation. There's a black sticker and yeah, some quick little documents, nothing crazy. And then just by pulling this little side out here, you can go ahead and reach the Mac Studio, which is not as heavy. Actually, it's kind of heavy. It's very dense. Let's go ahead here if you guys want to hear what this sounds like. Not sure if that was satisfying enough, but yeah. So my first impressions of the Mac Studio is, holy cow, it is actually pretty heavy. It is definitely two Mac Minis on top of each other in terms of the height, but a lot heavier. And I really like this design. I'm actually pretty blown away by how cool this looks. You have the perforation here on the back to help with the air, and you have the same thing going on here at the bottom, along with that Mac Studio logo, which is really cool. And then, of course, all of the ports. Now, this is the M1 Ultra version, so the front actually has two Thunderbolt ports and an SD card slot. And then if we go over to the back, these are all Thunderbolt ports as well. And then you also have a 10 gigabit Ethernet port. You have the power adapter here, two Type A, HDMI, and a high impedance 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So yeah, that's pretty much all that you get inside of the box, aside from the power cable as well. There's not a whole lot inside the box. That's really all you get. So yeah, that's the Mac Studio. It's awesome. It's super heavy. I can't wait to get going on this, and again, we'll have more videos on this next week. Now we have the Studio Display, and this thing is massive. And I don't know what happened when Apple packaged this. I'll see if I have a picture of it, and I'll try to put it in here, but it was like covered in a brown box, but only partially covered, and I guess it rained on it, so the box is wet. That's pretty cool. Thanks, UPS or Apple. Whoever packaged this destroyed the outer box, so I don't really know. But anyways, they're just like the Mac Studio. We have a pull tab here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that. And again, just like the Mac Studio, we have the little handle, which is nice. Helps with carrying it. But I'm gonna put it down flat so that I have room to open this up. And so I blocked the other camera, but at least here I can show you what it looks like. Let's move this around. All right, so similar to the Mac Studio, you have these little arrows signifying that you should pull this out if you want to unfold the rest. It's like an origami box. It's pretty crazy how they do this. Always loved Apple's attention to detail. So we'll take this out so we can get rid of this giant box. But real quick, inside of the box, you do get some documentation, and you don't have to spend an insane amount of money. Apple wants a couple, or at least $100 and some for the Thunderbolt cable, but you do get one. Might not be the longest one in the world, but you do get one here from Apple. And then of course some documentation, the sticker, a double sticker, black, and yeah, some documents here, nothing crazy. And again, for those curious, you do get this Thunderbolt cable. It's not the longest thing in the world. So that's probably why you might want to spend the $100 and some on the extra long cable, but I have plenty of these lying around, so thankfully I don't have to do that, but I kind of just wish Apple would have included the really big cable. That would have been helpful for a lot of people. But you do get one, so hey. And so here is the monitor. And the one cool thing here on the back, this is the regular stand. Now, For $15.99, you get the tilt stand or a vase mount option. Now, the vase mount option, none of the options can be reconfigured after you get it. So whatever one you pick at checkout is what you are stuck with. So I wanted Vesa, but it wasn't going to come right in time. So I stuck with the regular tilt adjustment. The height adjustment stand, where it does height and tilt, it's basically a Pro Display XDR stand. That one is kind of shipped out to next week, I think. And also it's $400 more. So I'm gonna stick with the regular one. Let's go ahead and here on the back, this is the power cable. Yeah, so there you go. The power cable's tucked behind here like a book. It is already plugged in, so that leads me to believe that this is an integrated cable, which I don't particularly love. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm gonna check it out and see. As soon as I can, I don't wanna rip this, but I'm probably just gonna have to rip this. Okay, so we got the cable out. Yeah, it looks like this is in there. So I don't wanna keep pulling it and potentially ruin it, but here, if you guys wanna hear the sound of taking this off, so as you can see here, there is the studio display written on the screen protector. Someone did a pretty bad job of putting this on, but let's take this off. And yeah, so around back, the only thing to really mention here is that you get one Thunderbolt port and 3 USB-C. So let's bring it around here to see if you can see that even better. Yeah, one Thunderbolt port to plug in your computer, and then you got 3 additional USB-C. So if you couple this with the Mac Studio, which is what I'm gonna do, you have a ton of I/O ports available. So there's really no excuse there. You shouldn't need a dock, but you can always add more. And then if we look over here, we have the 12 megapixel webcam, which is powered by the A13 chip that's inside of this. And we found out recently that it does actually run iOS 15, which is pretty crazy to think about. And so that will help power all of this in terms of software. And apparently it's going to need a software update already because the 12 megapixel camera is not so great according to recent reports. Obviously I haven't tested that yet, and we will do that fully, but yeah, so there's gonna need to be a software update. And then up here, you've got some perforations as well as down here, which is where your speakers are located. Can't wait to test all of it out, guys. There will be a video next week, early next week, hopefully Monday, going over my first impressions of what it's like to use the Mac Studio, as well as the Studio Display, as well as the Mac Studio. Also, for those curious, this is a 5K Retina display at 27 inches. It's pretty much the same panel as what you would get on the 5K 27-inch iMac, but in this similar Pro Display XDR fashion. It's not super thin as like the 24-inch iMac. That's kind of what I was expecting, but then after seeing the pictures, I had different thoughts, and then getting it here in person, I've noticed that it is pretty thick. It's not as thick as the Pro Display XDR, but it is pretty thick, and so just wanted to point that out to you. But other than that, you get your degrees of tilt here. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but you do get that, and you can't adjust the height, so hopefully I can prop this up enough to where that's not a problem for my neck. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss all of our videos detailing these new machines, as well as the iPhone SE. And we also already dropped the M1 iPad Air impressions video. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more content from us in the near future. Before we end today's video, I do want to give you more information about today's sponsor, OWC. If you just recently picked up a new Mac and are looking to expand ports, then the OWC Thunderbolt Hub, which is now available for new M1 Macs and all Thunderbolt 3 equipped Macs, is going to be a great option. The OWC Thunderbolt Hub offers the new Thunderbolt hubbing technology. You can now have 4 Thunderbolt ports plus 1 USB port on your new Apple M1 Mac, an Intel Mac, with Thunderbolt 3, or any Thunderbolt 4 PC with this compact hub. You can now connect and charge any device with a USB-C or USB-A connector, support up to 2 4K displays or a single 5K, 6K, and 8K display, add high-performance storage, including NVMe solutions, and generally make your workflow work for you by adding AV mixers, phones, or tablets, even desktop accessories, all through one single Thunderbolt port. The OWC Thunderbolt Hub is available now, and you can click the link in the description down below to pick up one or any other products from OWC that you might be interested in. This has been Dan with Mac Rumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.